Diving into Thoughtful Thursday. Welcome, my name's Dave. We are building up to studying 1 Corinthians, which has, again, some great leadership literature out there about it. But I first wanted to, before we dive into that a little deeper, I want to look at why routine matters. Why routine matters, and this is for leadership, this is for personal life, this is for everything. It's a little bit of a cliche term, like, what is your routine? How do you go through the day? Do you actually spend time focusing and reflecting on your routine? So I think maybe that would actually be my first challenge to you, is take a look at what your day-to-day routine is. And is it where you want it to be or not? Or is it giving you the most supportive life that you want or not in your current stage of life, and then where you want to progress in life as well? When I was younger, I did not fully subscribe to the routine thing. As I've gotten older, had more responsibility as a principal here, and have kids and different responsibilities and serve on different boards, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I've found the value of routine to be more and more important than I would have previously thought. And even if you talk to a priest, they're going to talk about routine in terms of your daily spiritual prayer life. Where are you praying? How consistent are you praying at these junctures, and building those habits? I think a lot of us as kids were encouraged to pray before bedtime and spend time doing that. And then as you get into your teen years and early adult years, a lot of people do tend to wean away from that, because all of a sudden we're distracted by all the other things happening in life, or especially now with cell phones. There's so much research out there right now about trying to not use your cell phone an hour before you go to bed. So that last hour that you're awake before going to bed, not using your cell phone. Not just because of the blue light, but because of helping you stay within that positive routine that'll help your body settle down to go get good sleep at night. So there is the two components I want to look at real quick with this routine element. In leadership, routine helps build dependability, consistency, and helps form strong habits. So having a consistent routine of when you're going to be at work, when you're going to be checking email, when you're going to be available to your staff for what they need, or your students what they need, that helps build dependability. So right now, my staff knows that from 7 to 4, those are the hours I typically am around at school doing work, and then that's when they can come find me or see me, those kind of things. I do try to, especially on the off time, not check email in the evening, or not respond to email in the evening, depending what's going on, unless of course there's an emergency situation, then you're going to be active on the email. But in general, if there is an emergency, even having set a routine around email is a very positive thing to practice as well, especially if you're a brand new leader. I would encourage you to structure the time that you're working with email. Do it so you have time to understand what's happening and get all the feels that you need to, but also understand that if you leave your notifications on and you are constantly responding to email, then you are breaking your routine, because you're also breaking your boundaries in how you want to be communicated with as a leader. So that's really important to build into your routine when you're going to check email, so that builds a dependability for it as well. And dependability then builds consistency, and then forms strong habits. Flip it over to when we talk about our relationship with God. That's prayer, that's going to church, that's getting involved in consistent things that help develop a strong routine, and then as a result form strong habits. So one of the easiest ways to form a strong habit is, of course, go to Sunday Mass every weekend, or go to your Sunday church service every weekend, and do so with regularity and consistency. And if you can't go to your church, find a church to go to. as well as having a consistent spot every day in your life to do prayer and devotions and dive into your relationship with God. Now, with routine, there also has to be the ability within your routine to build in flexibility, especially for new leaders who are still trying to figure out what is going on in their climate and culture. In a school environment, there are a lot of things that are very predictable. You can predict when you're going to have schedules. You can predict when you are going to go observe certain things. There's also a lot of things that are unpredictable, like when a medical situation happens or a student behavior situation happens, or something else unpredictable like an external threat or things like that. All those things you can't exactly just hit stop to and say, well, you two students should not get in a fight. I'm currently finishing this project, and then you two can get in a fight, and then I'll deal with it. You can't approach it like that. But you also have to recognize, like, if the student got sent down for something minor, or they've been sent down the third time this week, and the first 2 times you will address them real quickly, and then, get the situation rectified, it doesn't hurt for them to sit there a little bit, wait, think about things, and finish what you're doing, and then come and address that student as well. So it really is kind of a feeling out process. That's, of course, an example here from the education realm. In the business realm, maybe it's that client who called for the third time this week and be like, where is this? Obviously, you want to get back to people in a good, reasonable time, but there's also someone else's urgency may not be at the same level of your urgency, so having a balance in that urgency and feeling that out. So, and then when the unexpected controls us instead of letting our routine control us, then we become 100% in a reactive state, and that starts a vicious cycle. So going back to the example of constantly being interrupted. In education, interruptions happen all the time. If you build within your flexibility in your routine to address the things that are happening, that's going to give you 90-95% of the time you need to handle 90-95% of the situations. Obviously, again, there's going to be the situations that you need to drop everything for and handle right in that moment. But for a lot of them, someone else's urgency, what's the schedule for next Thursday? Or what's the schedule for 3 Thursdays from now? They're asking you that. You're not going to drop everything right now and say, oh yeah, let me type up that schedule for 3 weeks in advance when we got these 3 things right in front of us. You're going to say, hey, I have my clerical time that I'm working on with this on Friday, so you'll be able to see it next week. And just kind of have those planned within the routine, and then practice in your communicating your routine out, so then people understand that structure. If you would like me to take a deeper dive into some of this someday, please leave some comments. Please, of course, like and subscribe. Hope everyone has a great rest of the week and a restful weekend.